Hello, everyone. I wanted to share something with you, so I'll just start telling my story. It's sort of a testimony of what I've been through the past couple of months. A few months ago, um, my loved ones who were the closest to me, at least I guessed, um, started accusing me of things that I never said or done, things that never happened. Um, it was weird to me because uh, they were convinced that I did say those things or I did do those things or that those things did take place while there were other witnesses telling them that never happened. I was there with all of you and that never happened the way you said that it did, but they kept being convinced. So, whatever. To me, it got obvious that there was more involved, more like a demonic presence. And I understood that I wasn't wrestling against flesh and blood. But despite of knowing that, I didn't understand the depth of not wrestling against flesh and blood. I knew, but I didn't know at the same time. So got really sad because those relationships ended. It were multiple relationships. And I got online and I saw videos of a deliverance minister, and he was explaining that Christians, although they cannot be possessed, they can be oppressed by unclean spirits, and how these unclean spirits influence people's behaviors and why certain things happened. And I think I was watching maybe like three of those shorts, but it made sense. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And he shared that he wrote a book. So I went through the comments and I was scrolling, and everybody was like really praising him for that book. Like, your book has helped me so much, and my life is better. And thank you so much. And so I looked up his book, and it was only $12. So I was like, okay, well, that's not a lot of money. I can order it. And if I, you know, go through the pages and feel like this is not for me, I will just send it back. Only $12, right? So I ordered the book, and I ordered it with the intent to understand why people were treating me the way like they were treating me. Because the things that were happening were so demonic and it was so dark, and the things that were said to me were so painful. Like, only the devil would know how to hurt me like that. And I did know the devil was behind the things that were said, because the people that I love, if I would say I believe that if they know how it would hurt me, they would have never said it. Um, or you have to be like really, really evil to just like say it like that. But the devil he knows how to hurt you. So, well, I started reading the book because I wanted to understand how to deal with the situation, but as I kept reading the book, I sort of came to the conclusion that maybe I needed deliverance myself. Um, so I humbled myself. I was like, okay, I'm not a person to believe in this. When I see those videos online and people, getting deliverance and everything, I'm like, yeah, whatever, not me. But I had to humble myself, and I was like, okay, maybe I do need deliverance. What do I have to lose if I do those prayers and I'm not being oppressed? Then, you know, no damage, right? But at the same time, if I am being oppressed, then I do need to be delivered. So I booked a flight and I flew to another country uh, for deliverance, because I was sort of scared. I was like, "Oh, if I need deliverance, then I'm not gonna do that at home," you know. But as I was in another country, I arrived at a hotel uh, for some reason I couldn't stay awake. I had difficulty staying awake, and that is weird because I actually had difficulties sleeping ever since I was a young child. So I usually sleep 2 or 3 hours per night, and stay awake for a few hours again, and then maybe just like a few minutes or hours. So I'm basically tired the entire time. Um, so I kept sleeping, and then I left a comment on YouTube and shared that I tried to do this, but can't stay awake. So, anyways, I flew back, came home, and just felt very sad. And I wanted to go to church that Sunday because I didn't go for a few months because of everything that happened, and I felt sad. And I was in the middle of a spiritual battle. And when I was home, I don't know what came over me, but it was really dark. And I texted the pastor and told him, I'm not coming tomorrow. I don't want to be alive anymore. I feel God has left me, and don't pray for me. Um, I don't think I've ever said something like that in my life before to someone, because whenever I'm not feeling well, I always beg people to pray for me, even like, please pray for me or pray and fast for me, stuff like that. So he texted me back and he did pray for me, but I was just in bed and so scared that I would hurt myself. And eventually I got so tired that I fell asleep. Thank God. I think 2 days later, I think that was on Monday, I came home and I saw that somebody had responded to my message that I left on YouTube. And that person said, I hope you were able to go through with it. But I totally forgot that I left a comment on YouTube. And I was like, thank you for reminding me. I'm going to do it right now. So I started the deliverance prayers. I started to ask forgiveness, started forgiving people. And the weirdest thing, well, maybe for some of you it's not weird, but for me it was weird and definitely new. I felt the unclean spirits leaving my body. Um, if somebody told me like maybe 2 months ago that I would do this, I would literally laugh at them because I never believed such stuff. I believe people can be delivered, but I was more so a person that would say, yeah, just ask God to cleanse you with his blood, or ask him to take away your pain, just like more in a like a normal prayer kind of way. But to say that people had unclean spirits attached to them, I don't think I believed it in that way. I was more of the impression that people can be influenced by the enemy, but I didn't understand the extent of it. So I felt all those things like leaving me, and I felt better. And also, with all the prayers, I even felt the evil thoughts leaving me, thoughts to hurt myself and stuff like that. And then the feeling of being rejected, the feeling of being unworthy, everything left me. The hurt that I've been through, everything left me. The unforgiveness, everything. And I started to feel more like myself, which was weird because who am I, without those unclean spirits? Because all of a sudden, there wasn't darkness speaking to me, and there wasn't hurt in my heart or unforgiveness. So I felt better, and I went to church the week after, and everything was well. The pastor asked me, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." which was weird, of course, because I texted him the week earlier that I didn't want to be here anymore. Um, but it wasn't just like one prayer moment or something. Like I felt like I need more deliverance because I didn't grow up as a Christian. So you could basically say I have sinned a lot, like a lot. And also when I gave my life to Christ, when I was born again, I was still sinning, but being aware of sin, like different, like stumbling more. And but the minister from the book, the author from the book, he explained something like, if you don't know what happened, you can ask God to reveal it to you through the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. But I know I've been through some things, because there are parts of my life that I really don't remember, like big parts of my life. But I told God, I don't want to remember. I don't want to ask you what happened. I just want you to heal me. And I had this dream. And usually the dream is that I'm in a building, and as I walk through the building, all the doors are closing on me, and eventually I'm stuck, and it's like I can't breathe or something, and I have to pray to wake up. But it's very demonic. It's very demonic. It's not a nice dream. But after doing those some of those deliverance prayers, I dreamed again that I was in a house, and I was walking through the house, but the doors were opened, and they stay open. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I was walking through the house. Oh, it stays open. That's weird. I've never experienced this, So I went outside and I saw these hills, like grass, but there were like hills, and those hills had like a tiny door, and I felt like those are my traumas. So I was walking towards the hill, and I felt a very demonic presence, and I was like, no, this is a bad thing. So I stopped, and but usually when I dream that I'm in danger, God, yeah, like sort of lifts me out of the situation, and it's like He is like taking me up to heaven. I don't know how to explain it, but so that happened in the dream, and halfway on my way to heaven, it stopped. And I was thanking God, was thank you God that I can be with you again, but it stopped. So I looked over my shoulder, and Jesus was standing there, and I immediately knew the assignment. So I gave all my hurts, my traumas, my pain, my wounds. I gave it to Jesus, and I asked Him to heal me. So we were going through that, and there were like 9 of those hills, and eventually everything was like good, and Jesus walked me back to earth. I was holding His hand, and I remember looking back, and I was scared that something would still attack me from behind. So Jesus stood behind me, and changed into a really big lion, like a king, like how they portray those pictures with Lion of Judah, and like the half of it is a cross and stuff like that. So I walked back to earth, like my normal life, and I woke up, and it was the first time, like literally the first time I ever experienced where Jesus says, um, "Peace I give to you." Uh, I never